Welcome in, Arcutes. May peace and blessings be upon you, and mercy blessings of God. How much water did you drink today? Well, I have drank, to this point, maybe 1.5 to 2 liters. And I'm having some drinks right now. So I guess I'm going to reach about 3 liters, or a little bit above that. So maybe 3.5 liters of fluids. So it's gonna be a little bit over the top. You should stay in between 2 to 3 liters. But I've also been to the gym today, which means I've lost fluids by working out. Let's see here. I need to replenish my drink. I'll be right back. By the way, what's a mercy blessings? Is a mercy blessing special? Is it a normal or a special blessing? You feel me, I feel you. I don't know what you mean. Feel how? Do you mean well, I'm a little bit intoxicated right now. And it feels kind of trippy to feel other people. Usually I do need to have some like presence to feel other people. Like they being in the room, or sensing body language. The physical presence. May God, the Almighty Violent One, reward you and make it easy for you. Will you play Call of Duty? Why do God really have to be violent to reward me? It's but I did play Call of Duty, but I haven't played for a long while. It's I'm not too good at it. The reason being is well, that's reality. For me, that is not God. That is the way of life. So, as an atheist, I don't believe in higher beings and the afterlife, but I do believe in life because I exist in it. So I can by living I get proof that life exists, you know? So I get born and I live my life, and I do know that life will end for every living being. So even if you manage to live your life without reaching harm that cuts your life short, you won't escape the end of your existence. So for me as an atheist, I don't believe in higher powers, but I do believe in life and the process of going through life. So we need to eat, we need to sleep. We might need a certain degree of social interaction, and whatever makes us value life. So for me, reality is important, and that we don't go astray, fooling ourselves. Let's say, for example, someone would say, stop drinking water or stop eating food. You know, it would be ridiculous, because we need to eat and we need to drink water. The same with sleep. If someone would say stop sleeping, and then 72 hours goes, you can your organs can start taking damage from not sleeping. Or so the theory says. But I don't want to find out if that's true. You ask me, are you scared to die? Well, not... I was struggling with life when I was younger. So when I was maybe 16 to 20, around there, I was afraid. Maybe a little bit younger as well. Because being scared came from unknown. You don't know. And when you don't know, it gets scary, you know? So, but after a while, I got over it. Because I accepted it. So, because there's nothing I can do that will stop me from dying. So it's going to happen. It doesn't matter if I like it or if what I do. There's nothing I can do to not die. So it's the end of every life that is born will meet its end. Some sadly meet their end prematurely. So that's the only unfair thing. Some people die from old age, whilst others lose their life in the middle of it. So it's but you can't live your life if you're scared of living, because living life is also a risk of dying. So it's a hard formula. You can't, if you're too safe, you won't live at all. And you're right. Well, I don't remember being born. So that's the problem with being scared. Because I don't remember if I was scared. But most children cry. So say for example, you have the concept of trauma. And trauma is when you experience something that will change you. And usually it's to the worse. That you become somehow dysfunctional or afraid or very cautious to something. So it changes your behavior basically to dysfunctionality. And not remembering your birth does not mean that birth is pain-free. Because we don't remember being born. Well, Arcutus, if you I'm not gonna take your belief from you. So if you think human nature is to worship, that is it's a belief you have, and I'm not trying to take that belief from you. But human nature has a lot of flaws. So because it's if you take the concept of power, for example, you have power positions. So you say that you asked Grok and ChatGPT. Did they say it's human nature to worship? That makes me think that religious people has programmed the answer. So that answer did not come from God, it came from a human being. That's also the problem I have with all the religious texts that exists in the world, is that it wasn't written by a god, it was written by people who claim that a god exists and that they have spoken to them. So it's for me, when I look at a lot of debates, when you have religion versus Christianity, or Islam versus Christianity, or Christianity versus atheism, or back and forth and kind of stuff, what I think they miss out on is the fact that they defend the religion by it being the right path and the right religion and so forth, and I will never take their belief from them, but I don't share that belief. And they also say if someone proves or claims that any prophet is wrong in their belief or path, that they are wrong beneath God and stuff like this, and that anything that are trying to disprove religion is man-made. They talk a lot about man-made laws. But to me, the religious texts are man-made, and they come from the Middle Ages. Like they come from way past. So it's like being guided from a caveman. And the world is too overpopulated for the religious structures, especially when it comes to everyone having 10 kids, for example. If if the woman doesn't have the right to say no, and she is a piece of the man, and the man gets to the woman and his needs for kids or wanting to have kids, it will, in combination with welfare, for example, they might never realize that they are having too much kids. Because if you're poor in an economic world, basically you won't be able to take care of your children, and that means that you need to train them to work for other people. So this is only good as long as you have an economic structure where you have rich people that need more workers than they themselves can produce by childbirth. So either their children are unwilling to work, or they themselves are not having enough children in their family for their greedy ambitions. And take for example the fact that we need to have a food industry. So you have to have people that breed animals so they can be put to death to put food on the table. So we're long past living off the land, as in hunting and gathering. We have to have food industry. This is the first sign of overpopulation. We cannot, without structure, survive. As soon as the infrastructure falls, and the ones providing the food and the water, the electricity, we will be handfallen. What shall I do now? I'm trained to sit at a desk and a computer. I don't know how to hunt. There's not even enough deers in the forest to feed everyone. There's not enough fish in the sea. What does God have to say about this? More people than fish in the sea, when it comes to how much we need to eat. There are places in the world that has lowered water levels because there's so much humans and they drink so much water that the ground dries up and the plants and animals die. What does God say about this? Let's take a survival approach. You need water. If you drink water, you can live for a very long time without food. It will not be fun. But you can survive on water, as long as it's somewhat clean. But it will be a lot of hunger, and you will have nutrition problems, because you will basically only work on the thing that is in your bloodstream. And in stores, in your liver, body fat. The body will consume its own fat and protein to make the brain survive. But you could do that for quite some time, as long as you have the water. But it will not be fun or good. So that means that if you are in a place that doesn't have a clean water source, like a lake that is drinkable, you need to dig a well. So now you need to dig a well, and you need to dig that well as deep until you hit the water level. So you have found water. If you put down a bucket, you take out the water, you're good for a day. You do that every day. To cleaning, you wash yourself, you eat, you drink. That one bucket is not too much, because it will rain. And by raining, it will refill what you find in your well. But if you are 500,000 people on that same well, you will drink up the fluids that is in your glass. This glass will be empty because I drink it. And it's the same with a well. It needs to be replenished. You need to put more fluids in it, or everything will dry out and die. The roots of the plants needs to touch the water level, or have rain to sustain the life. It needs to rain every other week, or something like this. If you ruin the climate, the nature will die. And that is what human nature can do. Just look at the man-made islands that they tried to do. Was it in Dubai? They killed all their fish. All the fishing died. Because they destroyed where the fish laid their eggs, and where the fish survive when they're small. So all the fish died. They ruined their own habitat, their own nature. It's the same thing. This is human nature. Stupidity. When you don't know what you do. And then it has major effect on life. So it's personally, in an overpopulated world, I don't see religion as a good. It's like say humanity is about to die out. There's only 200,000 people left in the world. Everybody is at war with each other. That might be when religion has its place to create stability in chaos. But in an overpopulated world, you need structure, and you need functionality. And if you discard today's reality for a religion made several hundred years ago, then you might be following a belief that is no longer functional in today's reality. So let's say you have a religion that is 2000 years old. It's not the same world anymore. You cannot follow those guidelines without having a certain effect that might be negative to everyone's survival, even nature. And nature is the one that is about to go on several reasons. And we also have people that has a problem with low childbirths. And I think that it's not wrong to have children, and we need to have children to keep on existing as the human race, or the human species, which is more correct. But that doesn't mean we have to overpopulate. So that's the only problem I have, is that it's almost like when you have a war, they call the war escalates, or let's say you increase the size of your country's army, then the other country needs to increase their sized army, because they need to increase the need depending on if you attack or not. So if they don't, they will be a victim. And I think it's the same problem with anyone who tries to convince people to have children. They just in Sweden we have a word that calls hets. It's almost like let's say you have a dog fight. You have two dogs inside of a ring. The two dogs have never met. They're not enemies, but you agitate them. You make them angry, you shake them and make them want to attack the other dog. And they do that so the two dogs fight. And it's almost like they try to do that to make people have stupid amounts of children. So you can look at YouTube or listen to certain groups, and they think they're gonna win just because they have a stupid amount of children. And what I fear is that you will have poor people or stupid people that are unable to take care of the children they have, and then those children will become everybody else's problem. So when you have a structure where everybody just have kids without thinking, it's not functional unless you can survive on nature. Because if you go back in time, when there was a leader that annoyed other big leaders in the world because he had a big following, and that following I adore, because it's close to my heart, critiquing everything and not following blindly. The problem is that this kind of thinking became a problem for leaders who wanted followers to obey and do exactly what they were told. because they became useful to them then. So this other leader, he was like a rebel, and he taught people to don't give a shit, and how to hunt and how to fish, how to stay out of these structures that try to control you. That was a possibility because you could hunt and fish, because animals were in nature in abundance. You didn't need to buy your food at the store. You could pluck it from nature, and it would barely affect it, because humans were so few that nature could thrive. This way, hunting and gathering was a possible way to stay away from being controlled by stuff, as long as you weren't attacked and killed, of course. So the problem is today you cannot do that in the same regard, depending on where you live in the world. Australia, for example, has a lot of wildlife, but they also have a lot of disease in the meat. So you really need to know what you're doing if you eat it. And there might be other places too. But yeah, the ground point is that as long as we have food industries, it's a sign of overpopulation and the killing of nature. So if everyone has 10 kids, every family, for example, it will escalate too fast. So we won't see the problems until it's too late, because life functions now, and then we will have times 10 the size of the population next generation if everyone would have 10 children. So it's an insanity factor to the child making. I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. If you have anything you want to say or ask me, type it now until I come back.